What's up everybody, my name is Ellen and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you what's in the bag. The first thing I want to bring up is the bag itself. This bag is my favorite bag I've ever owned. I've put a lot to the test. I have never found something that I've liked as much as the bag that I have right here. This is a Vinta bag. It is not only stylish and unique, but it is durable and it definitely protects my gear for anything that I throw at it. They have really come a long way. It's a company that I really stand behind. I think they create awesome products and they really have the wanderer, adventure, photographer in mind. And their newest design, which this one right here is the Type 2. I got mine in the green. I do believe they have it in black. Everything that I need for my excursions is in this bag. Now normally I usually carry a water bottle right here, and with their newer bag they actually have adjustable pockets, and this is the perfect size for my hydro flask to fit in. Bless up. And I just stuff that in there. I know these pockets are designed for smaller tripods. That's why they have this little strap right here. That way you can securely fasten your tripod in there, but my tripod is a little too big, so I'm gonna upgrade to something a little bit smaller here soon. Anyways, first thing that I have inside my bag, and this is only something that I carry with me if I'm going on long trips and I don't have access to my desktop here at home. A laptop for any of those files that I need to download and back up immediately. The next thing I have inside my bag is my VANILLE FRAISE wireless remote control. This thing is crucial for me to have, especially with what I do. I tend to take a lot of photos with just myself in products that I'm trying to shoot. VANILLE FRAISE is one of the second or third brands of wireless shutter releases that I've had, and VANILLE FRAISE is definitely my favorite. Let me tell you why. The range that this thing can do from camera to you, I think is about either 300 feet or 300 yards. You can go a long ways away from your camera to take photos of you. Their design definitely differs from camera company to camera company. I originally actually had bought a VANILLE FRAISE for my Nikon when I used to shoot Nikon, and the design was totally different. So again, long range wireless shutter remote. Wireless remote control, excuse me. FRAISE Plus. Look it up. I know they make it for Nikon, Canon, Sony, and probably other cameras, but I have it both for my Nikon and for my Sony, and let me tell you, I highly recommend it. The next thing I have within my bag is a cloth, because you never know when you're going to need to wipe that dirt and grease off of your lens. Also, some caps for the ends of my lens and also my camera body. In case I ever have to take my lens off my camera, it's nice to be able to put these right back on and have these close by, just so that any dirt and dust doesn't escape into your camera body. And that brings me to the next thing that's inside my camera bag, which of course is the camera itself. The camera that I like to use is the Sony a7R III. This camera is bomb. I love this camera. It's very heavy duty, it's durable, it is a little bit heavier. No, it's a bit heavier than a Nikon or Canon camera, but it is smaller in size. This is a game changer. I initially was using the Nikon D810A, which is actually what I'm filming with right now. The whole reason why I switched to Sony was because of the low light. I knew I wanted to transition my style. I wanted to shoot in more lower lighting settings, and I rented this camera and I tested it in all different kind of settings, and this thing is crisp. It is so crisp at such a high ISO, and I couldn't resist. I had to buy it. So if you're somebody who's looking to be shooting in mostly low light with digital cameras, I highly suggest Sony a7R II or 3. If you need something that's going to give you a lot better of a battery life, a lot larger battery life, I highly recommend upgrading to the Sony a7R III. It's actually one of the reasons why I decided to go with the newer version of the camera, because there were a lot of people talking about The only thing that they had an issue with was the battery life. It was drained like that, and I can't have that, especially if I'm going to be out in the field away from my home and I'm not going to be able to charge my camera on the spot. With the Sony, I paired it with 50mm 1.4. I think it's probably the most universal lens. Like if anybody ever asks me personally, Ellen, I'm looking for getting a new lens, I'm not sure what I should get, I only have a kit lens or whatever it is, what is the go-to lens that you recommend? And my very first option for anyone is a 50mm, and it doesn't have to be a 1.4, it can be a 1.8, a 2.8, whatever it is, but I think the focal range for a 50mm is very universal for portraits or landscape. It's wide enough for landscape, but it's narrow enough to where it's not going to distort portraits. So just to start out, if you're not sure which direction you want to move toward or gravitate toward with your photography career or hobby, I highly recommend starting off with a 50mm to get your foot through the door. That screen though. 10 out of 10, highly recommend the Sony a7R III. One more thing that I want to point out is when you are looking at getting something camera-wise or equipment-wise for your photography purposes, I highly suggest to rent it out first. I use lensrentals.com. I will also use borrowlenses.com. These two sources are fantastic. They have really good bundle deals, lighting, cameras, lenses, just any kind of equipment that you can think of. The reason why I recommend going to those sites first and renting is just to make sure that you love what you're about to drop thousands of dollars on. I would much rather spend a couple $100s on something rather than throwing out a few grand. And I know it has really helped me in a lot of circumstances because there has been many times when I have actually bought something and I ended up not liking it when I started using it. So if you are planning on investing in something larger in camera equipment wise, check those sites out. I'll link it down below. The next thing that I have inside my bag is my ProPhoto A1. This is a game changer. I don't know if any of you guys follow me on Instagram, you've definitely heard me talk about this little baby before, and holy smokes, if it's nighttime, we about to make it daytime because this thing can put out some serious light. It's actually a flash, but has the power of a studio strobe. So you can imagine what you could do with this thing. And if I had more than one of these, there are no limits. The only time I ever take this with me is when I am shooting any kind of event or any sort of indoor setting where I'm going to need some really consistent light to light my subjects. Recommend. 10 out of 10. Oh, one more thing I also forgot to talk about is the attachments on it. They're magnetic. What? Makes it so quick and easy for me to just pop it off, adjust the direction of light that I want to go or I want to shoot with. And this thing, I could go on about it all day. Let me just tell you, it's a good piece of equipment. ProPhoto, you do good work and I love you. So the next thing that is inside my bag are, let me dig that out really quick. Something that I really like to do is have at least one backup battery for anything that requires a battery. I carry one extra battery, one for my camera and one for my flash. You never know what's gonna come and you always wanna be prepared. So when one battery fails, I pop that into the charger immediately after I get home and then I throw this one into my camera or flash. So be prepared. Always be prepared. That is a professional photographer. Preparation. Making sure you are ahead of the game before the game plays ahead of you. Let's go to the very last thing that I have inside my bag, which are memory cards. I have a lot of these, always at hand. Always be prepared for what's to come. Be proactive and not reactive. That is my life motto. That is actually everything that I carry with me inside my bag. I do want to let you guys know this is not a sponsored video. I am not sponsored by any of these companies. However, I would love to be, but I am not. I'm simply giving you my honest opinions, things that I've tried that work for me. I think I finally have found the perfect gear to suit my needs for what it is that I do out in the field. I want to thank you guys so much for sticking around. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if there's something that you learned and you want to stick around for more, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, guys, take it easy, have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later.